Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we have a Fear the Walking Dead video for you. Alicia Clark, her new community, her conflict with Strand. This season is going to be interesting, especially with how it opened. Which was an awesome episode, by the way.
It was. That was one thing that we were wondering how if we're gonna see how Alicia is dealing with being in the bunker, getting out of the bunker, and unfortunately, that happened off screen. We got introduced to a character named Will, who apparently, when Teddy put people in the bunker, it was actually not just a room that we thought of. It was an actual bunker to survive. There was roughly maybe 130 people down there, including Will. He was a senator's aide, right? And according to Strand, or according to Will, it looks like he must have fell in love with Alicia. Now, we don't know if she reciprocated and they had any romance, but he fell in love with her. And Alicia became the leader, like, immediately. People were looking for her for guidance after this whole thing. She tasked him with doing some type of mission, which he said would endanger Alicia, so he refused to do it, and he was exiled for it. And he's trying to get in the good graces back with Alicia. Now, Alicia did give, she told Will all about Strand. She gave him the necklace. So I was like, well, was the mission about Strand, like to kill him? Or what was the whole mission? Because why tell Will all about Strand, and then you're going to exile him for not doing something that he thought in his mind would endanger Alicia and other people? I don't know.
Yeah. It was really cool. I hate that we didn't get to see, the growing of Alicia, and the growing of her becoming a leader, because we always knew she was a leader. Yeah. And we always wanted to see that. And it's a shame that we couldn't see that. There were some logistics of, I think, Alicia Carey being able to film, right? Which would explain why they're doing it this way. But I mean, it was great. I loved it. I loved the Will character. I wish the Will character would have survived.
Yeah, me too. So we got a little bit of a time frame as to how long it's been since season 6 to season 7. Now, according to Will, he was out there for 50 days, give or take. That's a shy under 2 months. Let's just say 2 to 3 months, maybe total, from season 6 to season 7. Not that bad. But what was interesting was when Will and Strand were at the tower fighting against each other and talking, all those walkers that were coming in, those were actually Alicia's people. Yeah. Because Will was like, do you see her? Do you see her? And even when we first saw Will go there the first time, he was looking around like we were seeing all this food, and I think he was like, or maybe the walker that he killed was one of their people. So by the time they actually got back to the bunker, of course, Alicia was gone, and now they're trying to go to find this place called Padre. A place. Kind of sounds like a place, because Will was like, it may not even exist, or it's kind of a myth or something like that. But
I think it's something that Alicia, if I had to guess, wanted to be. Like, that she wanted to aspire to this Padre, right?
Whatever
like,
Padre means.
Maybe it's a big community.
Maybe.
A settlement.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's strange how the episode, like, I don't know. I wish it would have turned out different, but with Will, right? But you get to see, like, Strand killing Will,
right?
Really sets him off as, like, the villain, right?
Yeah,
and
it
that's,
does.
And that's kind of another piece that we were going to talk about, is like Strand. I think we mentioned this in the review, the brief review after watching the episode, is like, you saw, like, after he was out in the wild away from his community, like, he was a completely different person, or starting to go back to possibly who he was. But then minute he got back to that building, completely different.
And that's what I'm thinking was it a facade? I mean, we kind of heard that.
Him in the wild?
Yeah, him in the wild.
Oh, I think so.
I think it was a facade, because, like, he wanted to learn and wonder if Alicia was alive, because in his eyes, he wants to prove everyone wrong. Morgan, Alicia, he wants to prove them wrong.
Why?
That they failed. I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, I don't know. Like, why is it they failed? Why is it that Alicia and Morgan failed, and you, being in this wonderful place now, this is the correct way to do it?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to succeed. Well, now you're going to be surrounded by tons of walkers, because you're having the tower light, attracting everyone. Like, just so in a way, Strand never wants to leave. So you're going to send out riders, a back entrance to get away from a horde that's going to be surrounding your place.
It sounds
forever?
like to me that's the case, right?
Yeah.
He's holed up. He's done being that person that was out there trying to survive.
Yeah.
He's now got what he wants.
Right.
But it's just amazing that it was like a flip of a switch.
It was.
It was like we didn't see this look, we always saw this from Strand. Don't get me wrong. He's always been one to care for himself, always putting himself above others. But we never saw like him retaliate against his own people.
Right.
Right.
And we haven't. Not really.
Not to the point that he did pushing Morgan into those walkers in the sub.
That was the one thing.
That was when the switch flipped, right?
That was when the switch flipped. Yeah, we kind of saw it in season 6 where he, it wasn't really his people. You know how he killed that guy.
The guy in the oil yard, or not the oil yard, but that special mission that they went on and he stabbed him in the leg.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't really his people. He did that to survive. But Morgan, I think, was the only one that I can remember where he actually put his life in true danger. He could have done it in little tidbits, but nothing to where it would be drastic in previous seasons. But Morgan, I think, was the main one. And it was hard because you saw how Strand was talking, how he was kind of remembering Alicia and how he was talking about the necklace, saying, I gave this to her so she would remember who she is, that she could survive without me, and I don't know if I could become that person. And heartfelt moments, I kind of thought he was talking about Madison for a second, but I think he was still talking about Alicia, saying there was somebody else who kind of almost brought me back to the man I used to be. I don't know if he was really talking about Alicia or part of it was Madison at the same time.
Do you think Madison showing up changes his perspective?
Because I think it was because...
I think it was too.
Because in a way, he was like, if we found her. Now, I don't know if he was talking about Alicia or Madison, but I don't know if it would now.
I think it would. I absolutely think it would.
Maybe.
He had something special with Madison, and it was more of Nick, the bond that he had with Nick, that helped with that relationship with Madison. But I don't get this. I think it's great. I think I actually like what they're doing with Strand, but I just don't. It's not making sense to me.
Not yet. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into more conflicts, guys, and so we know that in the upcoming episodes, I think our group is going to be coming upon Strand's compound. But
it was very interesting, though. This stuff with Alicia. What is this
really
group?
Great.
How many have survived? Right.
Yeah, so I mean,
we didn't get an actual number.
According to Will, they said at the time it was 128. So now take away how many we saw,
which we don't know.
Fighting, we don't know. Let's say 20, maybe 20 walkers or so. So take 20 away from that. So I would say she's probably still got maybe 100, but we don't. But now that they've left the bunker, we don't know what direction she's going. Now, I did see in some comments that Padre. People were talking about Padre kind of in the Gulf Coast area off Texas. Why isn't she coming back to where, Morgan's place is? Of course, that area, nobody's there, as we know, because Morgan's not there. But, just trying to figure out what they're doing with Alicia. Where is she going to travel to? And the future conflict that we are going to get. We're going to get Alicia back in this season.
Yeah.
And whose side is she going to join on? Is she going to see what Strand's doing and say, this isn't how you're supposed to do it? Will was like, you can't lead alone. And that's when Strand was like, oh, yeah, you can. You can lead alone.
Even his voice was different.
Yeah.
Right?
In the beginning of the episode, didn't you kind of take his speech almost like King Ezekiel?
Yeah. The
mannerisms, the kind of kingly type speech.
He was
wording,
like a hoity-toity type. Like the dude even put his pinky out when he was taking a drink. I mean,
he had all
was
his
just
rings.
over the top. I loved how they did it because it's total Strand.
It's complete Strand.
He had 4 or 5 different rings on.
He's loving it, man.
But yeah, like I said, I love how they did it. It's going to be interesting. We're led to believe that it's going to be Morgan against Strand, but this Alicia thing kind of throws a wrinkle into it, and maybe she's involved somehow. Not right away. We're probably going to get 4 or 5 episodes, maybe the half season without Alicia.
Stay tuned, guys. We still have the last 2 remaining episodes 7 and 8 titles and plot details to go over, and I think in one of those it does mention Alicia's name, so I think she's going to be coming right at the latter half of this
7
first
and
part.
8.
Yeah, and then I think next part will be Alicia should be back.
Heavy.
Yeah, Alicia should be back and get more with her.
That's good.
So definitely excited for that. So let us know, guys, what you thought of this new community that Alicia's in. You know, she's finally becoming the leader that we all wanted to see. Unfortunately, it's happening off screen, and we don't get to see it. So we definitely can't wait for Alicia Debnam Carey and Alicia to come back on screen for Fear the Walking Dead, because, you know, she's the last Clark remaining. You know, Madison is out there, but as of right now, she's the last Clark remaining, and we want to see her more screen time.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
absolutely.
We got to see her. So let us know what you think. Let us know the madness that Strand is doing. We are going to be actually, when you guys are watching this video, we have already watched episode 2, so stay tuned for any information on that after that. So like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation. We're out.